Hey guys, I'm Tamara Bennett from Southern Adoornments Decor. How are you? So today I'm live to teach you how to paint this cute little hydrangea truck. It's for a good spring door hanger. We have actually like 5 or 6 different kinds of these trucks in our shop. We have some with like school supplies in the back, some with pumpkins and things like that. Yes, Laurie, this is going to be saved on Facebook. So if you want to share it to your page, you'll be able to come back and find it really easily later. Hello, Anita. I'm so glad you're here. So yesterday I went live on my Facebook page and I showed you guys how I cut out this piece using my Glowforge laser cutter. It was so cool. And I showed you guys how I did it using the pass-through option. And so a lot of you guys really enjoyed that. And so today we're going to be painting it. If you see some little flashes, my assistant's here to take a few pictures of me for the blog. So just ignore the clicking in the background. Let's see. Hi, Tammy and Wanda. Hello, Pauline. Hi, Mary. How are you? Good morning. Hello, Emmy. So tell me whose page you're watching from, because actually I'm live in 8 locations right now. 8 locations. Is that not the coolest thing? The internet is so cool. So if you don't want to miss me going live on my page, if you enjoy watching me paint, be sure to text the number that you see on the screen right now. And I will give you a text notification anytime I'm getting ready to go live. And so that way you won't miss out. So whose page are you watching from today? Because I'm live on Deco Exchange with Damon. He is my mastermind business coach. I'm also live on The Social Easel, my good friend Christy Hawkins. And I'm live on Heidi Easley's page, Texas Art and Soul. And I'm live on Julie Samako's Southern Charmed Wreaths, and then Kali's page. Those are all people who are in the mastermind with me, and they were grateful enough to let me come live on their pages. Lots of people watching from Deco Exchange. All y'all, I love Damon's people. You guys are the best. Hello, Southern Charm Wreath people, and hello, Social Easel people, and hello to Kali's people. How are you? I'm so glad you're here. Some are watching from inside the Painters Clubhouse, which is my membership where I teach door hanger painting. And so I wanted to come on here today and invite you guys to join the challenge that we're getting ready to do. So before I get started painting, let me show you this one. This is one that I'm teaching in our challenge. It is the Magnolia door hanger design. We teach it to you in like 3 different steps. We teach you the background, then we teach you how to paint the magnolias, and then we teach you how to do the lettering. And we teach it in such a way that anybody, no matter whether you can't draw a stick figure or whether you've never painted before, can do it. Because we give you a printable template. And so for $10, you get the printable template that you can print out at home. You just print it on regular old printer paper and you assemble it. We show you how to do that too. And then I show you how to trace it on your wood, and we tell you what kind of wood and everything to get. I get my wood from Lowe's, and then we teach you how to cut it out with a jigsaw. And so it's going to be super simple. If you can't cut your own blank, we do have the option for you to buy one similar to this. You know, it's got the lines all etched in it. So the words and everything would be laser etched in the surface like this. So you could just paint along with me, and you wouldn't have to worry about the steps where we're using the template. This thing is like tempted to tip over. I may need to put something weighted on the back end of it, like a heavy paint bottle. Or here, put my cup. My cup is heavy. my tripod is extended so far over, it kept trying to tip. Hello, Rosella, watching from the Social Easel. Hi, Carla, watching from Deco Exchange. Hello, Wendy. Okay, Nancy says no sound. Nancy, you'll have to go out and back in because I think everybody else can hear me. Okay, so today we're painting this hydrangea truck design. We offer these also in a template, just like I showed you. So if you're handy and can cut your own wood, be sure and grab the paper template for just $5. If you want to get the wood piece mailed to you, we offer that in 4 different sizes as well. But if you want to participate in that challenge, there's a link in the video description. If you're watching from Damon's page or Julie or Kali's or Heidi or Christy's, be sure to use their link that's up there at the top so they get credit for you signing up for the challenge. All the details for the challenge are on that page. So that way I don't have to go through it over and over again on here. But if you guys have questions, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. Diane said, I remember seeing a post where you showed your workstation. Head on over to my blog, Diane, at southernadoornmentsdecor.com, and we have a post over there showing how I built my craft table. It's made using those 9-hole organizers that you get on walmart.com. and then like a melamine tabletop from Lowe's. This is funny. She said, everyone went live at one time. My phone was beeping like crazy. It's me. I'm live everywhere today. Okay, so let's get started. The colors I'm using, look at this color palette, you guys. Is this not going to be the prettiest spring design? We have Purple Cow. That's a light purple. Brilliant Purple. And then we have Hauser Medium Green. These are all Deco Art Americana paints, by the way. This one is called Gray Sky. And then we have Peony Pink. And then Razzleberry. What a fun name that is. And then last but not least, oh, no, we have Bahama Blue. And then this yellow is actually a special kind of paint called patio paint. It covers better than most yellows. It's an outdoor acrylic, and this one is the sunshine yellow. So those are the colors I've pulled out to use. Of course, we'll probably use a little bit of black and white as well, but that's what we're going to start with. And guess what? We're going to paint this truck purple. Shan decided we needed to paint it purple. So you can thank Shan for that if you love purple. So we're going to start with the Purple Cow color. And no worries, even if I paint over the lines on this design, the lines still show enough through the wood that I can still use those as a guide later. So it's okay if you cover up these laser etched lines. And I'm just using a flat tip brush, putting plenty of paint on it. And we're just going around this entire design. I'm not worrying about getting it on there too perfectly or anything, because we're going to go back and add more colors in just a little bit that will kind of tidy everything up. And then at the end, I'm going to show you how to use the Posca paint pens to outline a lot of the things so that it looks really nice and neat. Thank you, Kim, so much. She sprinkled it to her family and friends. I appreciate that so much when y'all do that. Thank you, Wanda. I appreciate you. Hello, Ann. Good morning from Texas. I'm in Kentucky. If you don't know me, I'm Tamara Bennett from Southern Adoornments Decor. I'm in Damon's mastermind, and so that's why, how I came to know a lot of the ladies whose pages I'm live on today. Now, if you're a fan of the Social Easel or Texas Art and Soul, you know that I just left the beach with those gals. We took a girls' trip to Destin, Florida, week before last, and so that's how I know those gals. We are all sort of in our own little mini mastermind together. We get together a couple times a year, and I love those girls. They're like my sisters. But so today I just wanted to share this door hanger painting with you guys, because many of you guys have never painted a door hanger before, and you think that maybe you can't because you don't know how to paint. But you know what? This is something anybody can learn to do. There are so many people in my membership who had never painted a door hanger until they met me. And so we try to teach it in such a way that anybody, no matter whether you can paint or not, can learn. Do you guys have questions about painting? Laura said, I see you fixed your little oops at the top. She's talking about yesterday when I cut this on the Glowforge. I accidentally bumped it like with my hand while I was cutting it, and it messed up the alignment. And so it was a little bit out of align. And so, yeah, I took it out to the garage a little bit ago, and I sanded that off. It's okay. Okay, now I'm picking up a little bit of this, what's it called? Brilliant Purple. See, it's just a little bit darker. And I'm just going to shade a little bit of that around the edges. Not a whole lot, but just kind of back and forth to shade it. Shading is one of those things that you'll learn after you've been painting for a little while. So if you're new to painting, don't feel like you have to start out with shading. I only in the past couple of years have gotten to where I'm using more shading on my door hangers. And it's just my style is evolving the longer I paint. And so you may not feel comfortable doing any shading until you've been doing it for a little while. And that's okay, because your door hangers are still going to turn out super cute regardless of whether or not you're using shading. I like to shade when my base coat color is still nice and wet. And so this Purple Cow color underneath is still nice and wet. And I'm just using what is this color? The Brilliant Purple to go over the top of it to shade it. I have to slow down so Shan can get a picture. I'm so used to just painting at 90 miles an hour. Awesome, Linda. It's so good to see you. She said, I attended your paint retreat in Nashville a couple years ago. Never, ever painted before, but it was so much fun. I'm so glad you did. It was fun. Michaela, that's because I am live on like 8 different pages right now. So that's the beauty of StreamYard, the program that I'm using right now to go live. Sure. Kenletta says, can I ask you about the Painters Clubhouse? Oh, and yes, to answer your question, Coral, Daisy Designs by Amy. So Amy, to answer your question, yes, I did get the pro version of the Glowforge. And if you guys are interested in that, I can give you a $500 off coupon for the pro if you are interested in getting one. If you're going to be cutting door hangers this big, I do recommend the pro because of the pass-through. Okay, so back to your question, Kenletta, about the Painters Clubhouse. It is my membership where I teach you how to paint door hangers. And every single month we paint 2 door hanger designs, and we try to like sprinkle in different techniques and bonus ideas of things that you can use to improve your door hangers. Hey, you know what I forgot to get? A mug full of water. My mug is sitting in there by the sink. She's going to fetch me some water because I just realized I can't rinse my brush out. So the Painters Clubhouse has about, I think we have about 1,400 members in there right now. It's been in existence since April 2018. And the women in there join because they aren't confident with their door hanger painting and they want to learn how to paint with guidance and with a supportive community. And that is what our Painters Clubhouse is all about. The women in there are so good so that if you have problems with a door hanger that you're trying to paint and you're struggling with it, you can come in there and ask their advice. And they're so good to like step up and help you figure out a solution, you know, if you're stuck. But it's $47 a month. We're actually opening the Painters Clubhouse on February 16th. And that's, when is that? That's not next week, but the week after. So it's right after our challenge ends. We're going to be opening it back up. So if you're interested in it, be sure and sign up for this challenge because you actually will have a chance during the challenge to sign up early. And so be sure and use whoever's page you're watching from, be sure and use their affiliate link up at the top so that they get credit. Awesome. Kendallin wants to join the Painters Clubhouse. Well, the description, sorry, I will quit tripping over my words in a minute. The challenge link is in the video description for you guys so that you can sign up for the challenge and then you'll be able to join Painters Clubhouse as well. Are the door hangers that you paint inside the clubhouse different from the ones that you do online? Yes. So you see me painting here on Facebook, but the ones that we do inside Painters Clubhouse are not released in the shop yet. And so they don't get released to the public until about a month or so after the Painters Clubhouse have had access to them. And so we also try to like take it up a notch and teach you guys some techniques and things that maybe you didn't know because we don't teach it like on the main Facebook page. So on my main Facebook page, I try to stick to like more beginner type designs or not go in depth in teaching because I'm busy talking to you guys. And so in the Painters Clubhouse, there's less socializing and more actual training going on. And so you'll be able to pick up a lot more little tips and things like that when you watch our videos. We actually have like a success path that walks you through the process of what you need to do in order to become more confident in your painting. And so if you download that success path and follow the different things that we guide you through, you'll have a much smoother journey learning to paint. Okay, how do you store your painted templates? Do you mean the painted door hangers? I store them in a laundry basket, or and then some of them I have hanging up in a closet. So it just depends. I kind of ran out of room in the closet. Have I thought about doing a painting retreat? So I don't think we're going to be doing a big one here in 2021, just because I don't want to do something where everybody's going to have to wear a mask and stay 6 feet apart. We're huggers. Us painters, we love to hug each other. And so it wouldn't be very fun to do that if we had to all stay away from each other. And so if we do have any sort of get-togethers, they'll be quite small, like smaller paint party kind of things. But we're not going to do a large retreat this year, I don't think. Our team kind of talked about it, and we just decided that it would be better if we just waited to do a large one until all of this had kind of blowed over and COVID has like quit rearing its ugly head. Hey, Khalid, thank you for having me on your page. Hello, Kathy in Manhattan. So this color right here is called Peony Pink, and I'm just using it to fill in the centers of these hydrangeas, and then we're going to do a lot of detailing to them in a minute. And it's going to be real easy, okay? So don't fret. We're not going to do it hard. And notice I'm not really staying in the lines. I'm kind of a messy painter and a messy cook in the kitchen. And so I like to just kind of slap the paint on there, and then later I go back and add details that tidy up my mess. Okay, let me see if I've missed any questions. Do you help with starting your door hanger business? So Jennifer, after you join Painters Clubhouse, you have the opportunity to join Paint to Profit, which is the next level up where we teach you about the business side of door hangers. So if you're interested in that, you can go to painttoprofit.com and read more. Any suggestions for using a jigsaw for a beginner? Yes. So I would suggest that you use a 20 TPI blade that is a scrolling blade made for cutting wood. But 20 TPI is the main thing. You don't want a big, thick blade. You want a really narrow blade with 20 TPI. Amanda says, where can I buy those paints? The paints I use don't have coverage like yours do. Michaels and Hobby Lobby both carry the Deco Art Americana brand. You can also order directly from their website. I think I have a link. I may have a link in the video description for that. Somebody said we can hug with a mask on. We are huggers. Thank you for sprinkling the love, Joanne. Somebody asked, what machine did I use to cut the wooden door hanger? You'll have to go back and watch the video that I did on my page, Southern Adoornments Decor, yesterday. It was a Glowforge Pro, and I demonstrated how I cut it out. Linda, it's $47 a month if you're interested in Painters Clubhouse. But if you just want to participate in our challenge and kind of get a taste of what it's like, that's just $10 to participate. We show you how to cut the wood and everything. And so if you're trying to kind of decide whether or not this is the right thing for you, I definitely recommend that you start with the challenge, because that will get your feet wet and it will help you decide whether or not painting door hangers is for you and whether or not you like my teaching style. And it'll also kind of give you a taste of the community that we have inside the Painters Clubhouse. It's not going to be as busy as the Painters Clubhouse, but just because it's a smaller group, it's a pop-up group. But the Painters Clubhouse is such a supportive group of women. And we do have a few guys in there as well. And they are all so kind to support one another and help each other out when you're struggling with trying to figure out what's wrong with my door hanger. Why does it look like XYZ? Or does it need something here or there? Or, can somebody give me tips about shading or something like that? Anytime you ask questions like that, there are always like 10 people jumping in to give their tips. And so I'm grateful to those people who are so sweet to help each other out. Okay, I'm also using this color called Hauser Medium Green. I'm just painting in the leaves right now. We're going to let this background color on these hydrangeas dry. I'm trying to be a little neater this time, and I'm going around each little hump on the flowers of the hydrangea. But I still don't have to do it just perfect, because later I'm going to go back and, use the paint pens to kind of tidy everything up. Joanne says, it's very addicting once you start. Yes. How many of you guys do paint door hangers? Can you attest to that in the comments? It is very addicting, because once you get started with it, you're like, ooh, what else can I do? There's something so satisfying. And maybe those of you who paint on canvas or do wreaths can agree with this. Like, there's something satisfying about taking something like a blank piece of wood or a blank wreath form or a blank canvas and transforming it into something that you made that you can be proud of. I know for me, that was a big reason why door hanger painting became sort of my, how do I want to say it? It was like therapy almost, because as a mom sitting at home with my kids, some days at the end of the day, you really didn't have anything to show for all the work you put in that day. All the laundry's put away. And so there's really not any evidence other than the fact that the hamper is empty, that you really got a lot done. And so you feel like you work and don't really get, you don't really have a whole lot to show for it, because right after you do the laundry, the kids are filling the basket up again, right? So door hanger painting kind of gave me that sense of accomplishment, because while the kids were napping, or if one of them was at preschool or something like that, I could sneak in my craft room and paint a door hanger. And after it was all said and done, when my husband got home at the end of the day, I had something physical that I could hang on the door or sell and feel like I really accomplished something. Even if the laundry is still piling up, even though I've already done it, or if the dishes are piling up, even though I've done those, this gave me a sense of accomplishment, and it was something I could be proud of. And there's something so satisfying about selling what you handmade that makes you feel so proud. And so just to know that even if it was just $30, that I brought in a little extra money that month or that week for my family, it made me feel like I was contributing and I could be proud of myself, because sometimes it can be hard as a stay-at-home mom because you feel guilty indulging in like getting your nails done or something like that, because if your husband's the only one providing for the family, you feel guilty spending money on things like that. I don't know if I'm the only one I doubt I'm the only one's that way, but I always felt guilty going and doing anything, even if it was just buying myself a new pair of jeans or a new pair of shoes. And so painting and having a little bit of like fun money that I had brought in kind of lessened that guilt a bit. Okay, we've got all of our leaves painted. Let me see what you guys are saying. So yes, you can cut your own wood for the challenge, or you can buy our wood blank that has the design laser etched in it for an additional cost. All that talking's made me thirsty. You want to paint, but you've been sick. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope you get to feeling better soon. Charlotte says, I love to paint door hangers. It's so relaxing. It is. It's like therapy. Amanda says, I make wreaths, but always buy door hangers to add to my wreaths, but I would rather create my own. So yes, these can be used on wreaths. Let me hold this up for size comparison. So this one is 17.5 inches tall, and that might be like a little bit big for a wreath attachment. I don't know like what size you guys generally use for a wreath attachment, but a 12-inch might be more appropriate. Or you could cut, if you have like a Glowforge laser cutter, you could definitely cut these any size you like. But yes, they can be used on wreaths. Somebody said it also helps you pay for your habit. Yeah, because when you get to painting, then you're like, oh, I need to go and buy more paint at Hobby Lobby. Or my addiction was ribbon. I would go and buy more and more ribbon because I wanted ribbon to match every single door hanger that I would ever create. And I know you wreath makers are nodding your head right now like, yep, me too. Rebecca, it does really help when your significant other is supportive of your hobby. And my husband has always been super supportive of anything that I've set out to do. And especially since it was making a little bit of extra money, he's like, I can't complain about her hobbies and her choice of how she spends her time, because it does make us some extra money. And his choice just to like use his extra time is video games. He goes, playing video games does not make us extra money. Yes, Kali says, imagine all the fun we could have with this. Maybe I should send this one to you, Kali, after I get it painted, and you could turn it into something on a wreath. Or I could bring it with me to the mastermind and give it to you. You love the colors I'm using? Well, Debbie, you can thank my assistant Shan for that. I was going to paint the truck this color, and she's like, you use that color a lot. I was like, yeah, I do. She's like, let's change it up. How about purple? And I was like, okay. So she talked me into it, and I do kind of love it now that we've got it going. All right, I need some white paint. Let me find that. And we're going to do the background of this little truck with that teal that I was just showing you. It's called Bahama Blue. And then we're going to add a little bit of white on it to kind of make it look more like a windshield. So this is the Bahama Blue. Look how, whoo, that is bright. Look how bright that is. We're definitely going to have to add some white. So I'm going to dip in the white. And we're just going to kind of go ahead and start blending it. That's looking better. A little bit more white. So I'm kind of adding two colors at one time and just seeing what they turn out to be. I want the windshield to look a little streaky on purpose so that it looks a little bit more like a windshield. Shan's trying to get action shots of my paintbrush moving. She's got to be stealthy like a hunter in the bushes trying to catch the lion doing her thing. And I have to like slow down so she can get an action shot every once in a while. But you guys always say I paint too fast anyways. So it's good that she makes me slow down so that you guys can see in action a little bit more what I'm doing. We'll have awesome photos for the blog. Let's just say that. All right, let's get some more. We're going to use a little bit more white. I'm just going to blend it on here. And then to get down in so using a big brush like this can kind of be intimidating when you're trying to get like down in these cracks. So what I recommend is you start in the crack. Can you guys see? Yeah, okay, you can see my brush. Start in the crack and then pull your brush up and out. See how that was like a really controlled movement? And then start on the other side of that little crevice. Pull up and out, letting the edge of your brush follow along the edge of that leaf. And it makes a big difference. See how precise that was with this great big brush? All right, let me get some more paint. We're going to do this area here. Let's get some of that paint off my brush. There we go. Now let's go up the other side. And then that allows you to get in that nice tight little crack, even though you're, even though it's hard to control your brush in those little areas. So hopefully that's a helpful little tip for someone if you have trouble getting in those little corners. Start in the corner and pull your brush up and out. Okay. And even though I painted over the word right there, we're not going to worry about it. Let's add a little bit more white and streak it in. We're going to make it streaky on purpose so that it looks a little bit more like a windshield. But that word welcome that was on the window, I will be able to see that later because I can still see it through the wood. And so I'll just get my brush out and paint over it in a bit. It's hard to stop because like I wanted that to look streaky, but I just keep playing with it. So just find a quitting spot if you can and try to leave it a little streaky so it looks like a window. Do you put 2 coats of paint on your hanger? So it depends on the color, Kim. For this window right now, I don't think I will because I used a lot of paint. I used the Bahama blue and the white, and so it may not need a second coat. And then actually on this purple out here, I didn't really put 2 coats on that either. I just shaded with the purple. And so once we get all the details on here, you won't be able to really tell that I only used 1 coat. Now on these green leaves, it's starting to show through a little bit. So I probably will go back now and add a little bit more green. So it really just kind of depends on the color you're working with and how thick you put it on there to start with. I know a lot of people who watch my videos will ask, how in the world are you doing that with only getting 1 coat? And it's just because I'm using probably a lot more paint than you are. And I'm putting it on a little thicker than you are. I think that's one of the #1 problems people have is they don't put their paint on thick enough starting out. And so then they struggle with getting it smooth enough and they've got brush strokes and all of that. And so if you just put it on a little thicker, you'll have a whole lot less of that and it'll be easier. I'm jumping around all over the place. It makes it hard for Shan to take a good picture. Her camera doesn't want to focus. That's so funny. Let's see. What paint do I use? Cheryl, they are Deco Art Americana acrylic paints. And I like the matte version. I don't like any of the gloss ones. I just use the matte. And right now I'm just doing a second coat on this green. And then we'll move on and do the other things. And once we get the background covered, we can start adding some of the fun details. There's a little spot to the bottom left corner near the leaf that needs to be blue. Thank you. I missed that. You guys are always so good about helping me when I miss painting a little area. She's talking about this tiny area here. That's part of the windshield that I neglected to paint. I think there's an itty bitty bit of it right here too that I accidentally painted green. So we'll paint that blue. And then these windows are actually supposed to be blue too. So I switched to a round tip brush to get these tiny areas. So we're just going to fill those in with the round tip brush and add a little bit of white to them. So now streak in a little bit of white. And then on this side. And I'm just following those laser etched lines on the door hanger. So I'm not having to freehand the shape of this window. It's kind of like paint by number, but there's no numbers on it. So if you like to color, it's kind of like coloring. Like on a coloring sheet. Streak in some white. There we go. Okay. We'll see how this dries. If it dries and looks streaky, we'll do another coat. Thank you, Julie. Let me see. Do you seal your door hangers when you're finished? Yes. So I like to use this Deco Art Duragloss varnish, Duraclear gloss varnish. And I put a coat of that across the entire thing. Now, if it's going to be exposed to a lot of weather, I would recommend sealing front and back. That's a great thing to live by, Karen. She said her dad was a carpenter. He always told us kids growing up that in order to get paint on the wall, it has to be on the brush. Seems so basic, but it's true. Yes, so I listed out all the paint colors at the very beginning. So when this is over, you can go back and just make a list because I named them off all at the very beginning. Okay, next, let's paint our bumper. And you guys can help me, give me some suggestions of what you think. What words should we put on our license plate? So if you guys have got some ideas, we could put a cute little word down there or something like that. So put your suggestions in the comments. This color is called Gray Sky. We're just going to paint our bumpers this color. If you really wanted to make it fancy, you could also add a coat of silver on top of your gray to make it look like aluminum or something, like an aluminum bumper. If you're just now joining us, don't forget to click the video description about the challenge, the door hanger challenge. We're painting this magnolia door hanger that you see hanging up behind me. It's $10 to participate. I almost slipped into like some kind of British accent just then. It's $10 to, I did it again. I don't know why that's so hard to say. But anyways, it's $10 US American dollars to participate. And you get the printable template that you can print out and trace on your wood to cut out with a jigsaw. We show you how to use the template. We show you how to cut it with a jigsaw. I can't even talk now. I'm all messed up. Oh, they're giving me all kinds of ideas for what to put on the bumper. Let's see. Give grace. Oh, that's what my shirt says. My shirt's from Cotton Chaos, by the way, if you guys are interested. The family's last name. That's a good idea. I probably won't put the family's name just because if I gift this to somebody else, I don't want my name to be on it. Come on in. That's a cute idea. What are the flashes alike? Gina, I've got somebody here taking pictures. My assistant's here taking pictures for the blog. So we're just in action taking blog photos while we're going. So sorry if it's distracting, but sorry. She's getting action shots. She's handy as a pocket. But anyway, so yeah, it's $10 to participate. I did it again. And you can get, you can also, if you want to spend a little bit more, get the wood blank mailed to you. And then you can just follow along with the painting videos. Now, the actual challenge isn't supposed to begin until Monday, I believe. And, but if you are like dying to do it right now, you can go ahead and jump in and start doing it right now. Like you have instant access to all of the videos. You don't have to wait until Monday. But if you're the kind of person who wants to like do it day by day and follow the instructions with the group and everything, you can wait and follow along with the group on Monday. Bloom, that's a really good idea. Home Sweet Home. Hop on in. Lots of good ideas. She likes Bloom. Shan votes for Bloom. Lots of people said Bloom. Okay, let's put this black on these tires. I can still see the etching in the wood, even though I've painted over it, so it's okay. Like if you still need that guide for when you do the finishing details, you can just paint right over it. I'd hate to know that you're like sitting at home trying to paint around all these little etched lines. Just paint over it. But yes, you can get these wooden cutouts in our shop at shopdoorhangers.com if you want to paint your own, or you can get the printable template for just $5 if you want to paint this little truck. But if you want to do the Magnolia Door Hanger Challenge, that's a separate thing. That's just something we do in the spring and in the fall. So the spring one is the one you see hanging up behind me, and it's $10 to participate. We're just going to start saying dollars from now on. Hi, Bridget. How are you? Hi, Tina. Hi, Catherine. Okay, we've got all of our background colors done. So now let's go back and start adding some details to our hydrangeas. I'm going to get my round tip brush back out. If you don't know what a round tip brush is, this is what it looks like. See how it's nice and pointed? Thank you, Khalid, for putting that in the comments for us. And now we're going to use a little bit of, okay, 3 colors. We're going to use a little bit of white. We're also going to use a little bit of peony pink and a little bit of the razzleberry. And we're just going to continuously dip in all 3. And we're going to like wiggle around the flower. So let's start with some white and just start doing little leafy shapes. And I may even mix a little white with my pink to make a different shade of pink. Just play around with it. But this is the razzleberry, the darker color you see. And so this is going to add some texture to our flowers. So just keep wiggling. There's really no rhyme or reason to this. You just keep wiggling and wiggling it on there until you feel like it's got enough color and texture. So you can add as little or as much as you like. And I'm going to do them one flower at a time. Add a little bit of white in there. Maybe mix a little white. You kind of have to do it fast. You know how you make like birds when you're making like a sea, like an ocean scene, and you do like a little hump, almost like an M shape? I'm doing that, but in a circular motion. So I'm going to go back and get some of that darker color and like layer it on top of the white just to soften that up a little bit. And then that one looks pretty good. We'll add some more details in a little bit with our paint pens, okay? So we're not done with our flowers, but that's the basic texture of the flower. So now we'll move on to the next one. So I'm just going to start by adding my darker pink on bottom this time. Let's see how that turns out. Just play with it. You know, figure out what method you like. There's not really a wrong way to do flowers. Honestly, feel like everybody kind of has their own style of flowers. These may not even turn out looking like hydrangeas when we're done, but they'll be cute and springy, and that's what matters. Your wiggles look like seagulls. Yeah, mine kind of do too. Look like seagulls swooping in a circle. All right, I'm going back and getting the regular pink and going to kind of layer it now. So I did the dark pink, then the white. Now I'm kind of layering on a little bit more of the regular pink and the dark pink. And just kind of marbling it in there a little bit in a circular fashion. Okay, looks pretty good. No, I'm not rinsing off the brush between colors because we're kind of marbling this together once we get it all in there. And so rinsing off the brush would just waste time, really. Pam says, once you start door hanger painting, you'll be hooked and you'll be amazed at what you can do. So true. It does kind of look like a camellia. I don't know camellia flowers as well, but this is kind of the style flower I always do. How do you join the challenge? Tina, there's a link up in the video description for you if you want to click there. Oh, I think I need to get a little bit more of this color here. What was this one? It was razzleberry, I believe. I'm running out of it. Looks pretty with the purple truck, doesn't it? Oh, that is so sweet of you to say. 2 years watching, and I still love watching and learning from you. Thank you. Lori, what are you wanting to order? She said, where did you say we can order? There's probably a link in the video description for whatever it is you're wanting to order. I wasn't sure if you were talking about the wood blank or if you're talking about the challenge. But we have multiple links up in the video description. So just click the one that you're asking about. Okay, so I've got all of my darker pinks on there. So now let's go back and dip in the white and start adding our white. And we're just going to kind of start mixing it and letting it just do its thing. Okay. And then get me a little bit more of the dark pink. And I'm going to layer one more layer. So it's almost like 3 layers of squiggles once I'm done. Dark, white, then kind of like the original color. Okay, and then next one. And if it helps, you can start out in the middle there and just start with small ones and then get bigger as you go out. That might help you feel like you've got a little bit more semblance of order to what you're doing. Okay, I've got all my dark on there, so let's go back and get some white. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Thank you to you guys who are sprinkling the love. I appreciate that so much. I know Damon and Kali and whoever's page you're watching from appreciates it too because it helps them out. Okay, let's go back and get the dark pink. We're going to just kind of squiggle on top of that white. And then the last flower, start in the middle and work our way out. They're starting to pop. Yes, they are, Joanne. All these little details are going to make this entire door hanger just jump off the door. Like, it's going to look so awesome when we're done. Because if we had stopped after just painting the background, it would be a little boring. So definitely add all these little details, and it makes a big difference in your door hanger. All right. Looks pretty good. Kind of step back, give it an overall assessment, see if you feel like it needs any more of anything. And then rinse your brush if you're done. And then I think I also want to add a little bit of a darker color to the green. So instead of getting another color of green, because I've still got quite a bit of green here in my thing, I'm going to get just a tip of black on the edge of my brush and start mixing it with that green on the edge of the egg carton. And it's creating kind of a forest green. And I'm going to use that and just do a little wiggle. See how I'm just wiggling? I'm not going to try to do a lot of shading. We're just going to do a little wiggle on each leaf to provide more detail. Give me a slow down. No, you're good. Okay, so do a little bit of wiggles on your leaves. Look how that made the leaves look so much better. Julie says flowers are her love language for sure. Kali says, y'all, she makes this look so easy. I think I can do it. Kali, you can. You can do this. Let's see. Any other questions? Thank you, Joni. She says she loves my hair. I love my curly hair too. I get tired of it sometimes and I end up straightening it, but then I miss it and I end up letting it go curly again. All right, I believe our license plate needs another coat because it's looking a little bit see-through. So I'm gonna rinse that brush and paint it white again. Try to get some white that doesn't have pink mixed into it, because I kept dipping in there with my pink brush. Shan's like, has that shutter going fast, trying to capture my movements. Get Damon to do it. So Parker is the one who actually wants to learn how to paint, not Damon. I don't think Damon has any interest whatsoever, but Parker is like, I think I would like it. And you know what, Parker, I think you would love it if you like actually found the time to do it. But Damon's keeping you so busy, you probably don't have the time. So Pat was asking, how much is postage normally if you mail to a customer, and how do you ship it? So on Amazon, there are some flat fold boxes that I get. And so it's usually about $10 or so to mail if you're using priority shipping. She said, you're so fast. I would have to study each flower and leaf for 20 minutes. Nope, don't spend that long. Just quickly paint over it and keep going. And you'll love it so much more in the end because you won't have like agonized and tried to be a perfectionist over it. Okay, let's paint our little, what are these? Tail lights. Look how awesome this yellow covers. Remember the patio paint I was telling you about? It's an outdoor acrylic paint. I'm using this because it covers so amazingly. This is the Sunshine Yellow color, and it's probably going to take 2 coats. But if we were using a regular yellow acrylic paint, it wouldn't cover like this, and we'd have to do like 5 coats probably. Or we would have to paint it white first, then yellow. But this patio paint is thebomb.com. It's a little more expensive than your regular. It's white and gold. Ashley, actually, I'm live in both places. So if you couldn't find me on Southern Adoornments, maybe you needed to refresh the page. But I'm live in like 8 different locations today. Okay, let's see what else is next. Let's see. Let me look at the original photo so I'm not missing any details. I don't believe so. I think now we can start adding some of the fun like finishing touches. So let's go ahead and start with the paint pens. Let me show you if I can get them out of the thing. Where's the black one? Oh, there it is. So these pens actually come in, like, I have them in 3 sizes in black and white. This is the biggest, fattest one. And I've kind of made a mess of the border around my truck window there. So I'm going to use the big one. That way it covers up my mess. So think of this like adding the coloring lines to your coloring book after you've colored. So watch this. We're just going to follow the line. Go nice and slow. You don't have to go fast. Look how easy that was. And then we can do it around the outside. Whoops, hang on. I think I'm going to have to rotate it so I don't get a crooked line. It's much easier when you're pulling the marker toward your body to get a nice smooth line. Let's do this side as well. This just tidies everything up, I feel like. It makes everything look polished and finished and really nice. Okay, let's rotate it back. Look how nice and neat that looks now. It don't look nearly as messy. Okay, and oh, I noticed the edge of this little window here and here. And then let's continue on around the edge of the truck. This is the 7M size bullet tip, if you're wondering. And they have these on Amazon.com. You can get a pack of 6 of them, 3 black and 3 white for, I think, $30. And you get 1 of each size. But this makes doing all these little details so easy. You love my wall behind me. Thank you, Dima. We actually have a blog post at SouthernAdoornmentsDecor.com explaining how we did that wall. So Charlotte said, I end up getting a blob when I use my pens. What am I doing wrong? You're pumping too much paint down into the tip of your pen, most likely. All right, so I'm going to put this one away for now, and I may switch to a smaller one, but I need to like really dry these flowers really good, because if you drag the tip of your paint pen through wet acrylic paint, it's going to kind of clog it up and it won't paint real smooth. So let's dry this really good, and then we'll do our finishing details. That is really fascinating. Mandy says the outdoor paint has more titanium dioxide and gives it opacity. That sounds like a chemist's answer. Like, that's really smart. I had no idea. So Ambi wants to know, if you mix it, would it give you different shades? I'm sure it would. I don't know that the opacity would be the same, though. It would probably mess that up. It would look cute in a wreath, wouldn't it? Khalees said something about that earlier. She thought it would look really good in a wreath. Yes, I'm going to use the black paint pen on the window as well, or on the, well, not on the window, but on these little things here, but we're going to use the smaller one. So this is the 5M, because I was afraid if I used the big bullet tip, it would run into this one here and you wouldn't have that purple in between. So this just makes a slightly skinnier line. So we're going to use that to go around. Well, I'll do the tail lights last, since they're probably still a little bit wet. But this is the 5M size. It's kind of the medium. So just use it to do that. Now, we can go ahead and do some designs on our leaves to outline them. Add just a few details. I like to go around the edge of each one and then do a wiggle in the middle, kind of like the center of that leaf. All these little details will make this whole design just come alive. If you want to learn to paint door hangers with me, be sure and sign up for our Magnolia Door Hanger Challenge. That's the door hanger hanging up behind me. You can join for just $10, and you'll be put in a pop-up Facebook group, and you'll learn how to paint with me. And so it's a good way to kind of test the waters and see if you can do this. Because so many of you guys are convinced that you could never paint. And so I'm going to convince you otherwise. John says, how much for the marker pen? So they're about $5 or $6 each if you buy them individually, but you can get the 6-pack for $30 and you get all 3 sizes in black and white on Amazon. You enjoy watching me paint. Thank you, Marcia. I try to be really positive. Okay, as you can see, I did, let me show you up close. Lots of little wiggles inside those flowers. I started in the middle. They look like little seagulls, just like somebody was saying earlier. So we're going to do that again in the middle. Start in the middle, just kind of do 2 facing each other, and then go around the outside. Just make sure that that pink and white paint is super dry. And you can do as much or as little as you like, but this kind of defines the flowers so that they're separate from each other. Yes, I'm going to use the white one next to kind of add a little bit too. Yeah, so don't fill it up with black so much that you can't have room for your white. This is the fun part to me. When you start adding all of this, it makes it really come alive. Okay. Oh, and I was also going to kind of outline my little tail lights. That yellow is still a little bit wet, so I'm going to try to go around the outer edge of it. Okay, and then I'm going to write bloom down here because that was what you guys suggested. So let's write bloom. If you're not confident with your own handwriting, then write it out with pencil first or something. Or print something off on the computer that you can use as a template and use some graphite paper. There we go. All right, so now let's switch to the white pen. Same size. It should be showing up on my Southern Adoornments Facebook page. It's really strange that it's not because it's showing that I'm live on that page. Okay, so now we're just going to trace over those little wiggly lines that were laser etched in the tires. I'm going to add a little bit of my own detail to kind of finish out the bottom of the tire like that. Actually, you know what? Let's switch to the big fat tip and use that for the outline of the tire. So this is the 7M. I don't think you are. That is crazy that it didn't live stream to that one.
I'm not seeing it either.
We may have set something up wrong in the beginning. Okay. That's not showing up as good as I would like. So either way, we're just going to take this white paint pen. This is the middle size. This is the 5M. And we're just going to add some little squiggles on our leaves. And then also a little bit in our flowers. There's so much busyness going on in these flowers now, though, that you hardly notice the paint pen. So it's a very subtle accent. So don't feel like you have to do a whole lot of it. And then we'll do the lettering in just a moment. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's do a little bit on our our bumper. Do like a little squiggle and then a line. This just kind of busies it up a little bit. You could even add just a little bit on the outsides of your truck. And then up around here. All of these little things just kind of add detail. All right, so now let's do the letters. And you can do this with a paint pen too if you want. This is, I'm not having to freehand this, just so you guys know. This is laser etched in the design. So I'm just painting inside the lines right now. With the, what size am I using? This is the 5M. Makes it super easy. My free-handed lettering is not nearly as good as this. So, yes, it is. Shan disagrees with me. I think everybody's a little bit self-critical, like a little bit harder on ourselves than other people would be. I don't like my hand lettering as much as I like this lettering. You could also do, if you don't have these pens, you could also do this with a Sharpie, but it won't be as smooth, I don't think. And the Sharpie will dry out quickly. So Sharpie works in a pinch if you don't have anything else. But you could also use just a round tip paintbrush to fill all this part in. You would just have to probably water your paint down just a little bit and move it a little slower. If I get quiet, it's because I'm concentrating. It is very therapeutic to sit here and do the lettering too. I feel like it may not be for most people, but for me, I kind of get mesmerized when I'm doing it. Okay. Ta-da! Now we have the word welcome. Look how cute, and it's all done. Let's see. Any questions before I go? Do I have any secret marks that you only know in your painting? What do you mean by that, Joanne? Like secret painting tricks that I know? Because no, I there is nothing up my sleeve that I have not shared with you guys. If you mean, do you mean like a hidden signature? That's interesting. No, I've never done that, but that's a cool idea. You couldn't find, yeah, I must have goofed up and not put it on my Southern Adoornments Decor page. Sorry. We will put it on there later. We'll like stream it over there too. So Dorothy wants to know, did you say that you will teach us how to cut out our template and paint it as well, or just paint it? We'll take you through the entire process. So, whoops, hold on. We will start with showing you how to, hang on. We will show you how to print this out and tape it together. And then we will show you how to lay it on the wood using graphite paper. That's for the design behind me. And then we'll show you how to cut it using a jigsaw, how to sand it, and all of that. And then we'll start with the painting videos. We'll start by showing you how to paint that background that looks like kind of like a shiplap look. And I promise it's way easier than it looks. And then the next, we will move on to teach you how to paint the magnolias. Also way easier than they look. We walk through it in such a simple way that anybody can do it. And then in the final painting video, we show you how to paint the letters and add all of the little outline details with the Posca paint pens. So if you don't have any of these, I highly recommend you grab them on Amazon, Posca paint pens. The one I use the most in the video is the 3M and the 5M, which is the small and medium tip. And then at the end, we show you how to make this little bow, which for those of you who are watching from Damon's page, don't laugh at my little bow. It's not my area of expertise. I'm sure you guys could make a killer bow that would put mine to shame. So you do whatever you want to do, your bow or my bow. If you're like a non-bow maker, my bow's for you. And then finally, we show you how to make it shiny with the gloss finish like that I showed you, the Duragloss finish. So that way your design will be protected. Do I paint the edges? So Judy, if I'm painting one of these that has been laser cut, I do not paint the edges because as you can see, they're like a nice smooth black laser finish. But if I'm painting one that I have cut with a jigsaw, it usually has a rough sort of unfinished wood look, and I do prefer to paint the edges on those. Thank you, Mary, for saying that. I do teach you the whole thing. That way you come out with something you are proud to hang on your door or gift to somebody else. Thank you, Cindy. That is so sweet of you to say. What kind of paper do I use to cut the pattern? It looks shiny because I taped it together with shipping tape, but it's, I promise you, just cheap printer paper. Yes, Damon can definitely teach you how to make some beautiful bows. I'm sure Kali and Julie can as well. Let's see. Any other questions that I might have missed? I'm skimming up through them real quick before I go. So sign up for our challenge. Use the link in the video description so that whoever's page you're watching from gets credit. Somebody said, when you're painting the lettering, do you need to thin the paint water? I usually do. If I'm painting the lettering with a round tip brush, I usually thin the paint water a little bit. It helps it go on a little smoother so that you don't have sort of like lumps in your lettering. Okay, I think I may have caught up on the questions. If I missed any questions, I'm so sorry. Feel free to message me or text me at this number with a question if you want to. And you can also text that number to get notified when I go live on my YouTube page or on my Facebook page when I'm painting, because I paint every Tuesday live. We are going to be starting our challenge on Monday, so be sure to go sign up for that now so that you don't miss out. It's going to be so much fun. Do you have a blank I can purchase? Yes. So we do have blanks that you can purchase to paint along with us if you don't want to cut your own. You can upgrade to that on the sales page. So just be sure and click that option when you're signing up. Thank you, Monica. That's so sweet. Becky, my laser is a Glowforge Pro. Okay, no final questions. You guys have been awesome today. Thank you for sprinkling the love. You guys make this so much fun to paint with you guys, and I've had such a great time. So I'll see you next time. Thanks to all of you guys who let me go live on your page. Bye, y'all.